All right, let's get right into it. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to completely demystify the wild, rapidly evolving frontier of blockchain technology. Look, if you've been feeling totally overwhelmed by the constant noise surrounding crypto, Web3, and decentralized finance, trust me, you are in exactly the right place. Today we're pulling straight from Marco Di Maggio's brilliant new book, Blockchain, Crypto, and DeFi, Bridging Finance and Technology. And our main goal? To cut right through all that heavy jargon and uncover the real, fundamental shifts that are actually happening in global finance right now.
So let's address the elephant in the room right off the bat. When you hear the word crypto, what immediately pops into your head? Di Maggio actually tackles this head-on in his FAQs. Is this whole thing just a playground for drug cartels? Or maybe for your naive son-in-law who's convinced he's gonna get rich quick? If your concept of cryptocurrency is built entirely on sensational headlines and crazy price swings, you're missing the real story. We are moving way past the tabloid gossip today. Your son-in-law might still be on a wild goose chase for sure, but the underlying technology? That is incredibly real, and it's already powering everyday financial activities.
I love how Di Maggio puts it. He says, this isn't just another textbook, it's your secret weapon to mastering the chaos. Because honestly, learning about things like consensus algorithms and smart contracts shouldn't be some miserable chore that puts you to sleep. It should be an interactive, super entertaining journey into this completely new financial landscape. And that is exactly the kind of energy we're bringing to this explainer today.
So here is our roadmap for today. We'll be covering Demystifying the Crypto Chaos, Foundations of Blockchain, Exploring the Crypto Universe, The Magic of DeFi, Real-World Applications, and finally, Beyond the Crypto Hype.
Section 1. Demystifying the Crypto Chaos.
Say you're a traditional finance professional. You know, a Wall Street whiz who lives and dies by trusty spreadsheets. You might seriously be wondering if you even need to bother with blockchain at all. Well, getting into blockchain isn't going to make your old skills irrelevant. Instead, it's kind of like learning a brand new set of financial spells. By upgrading your skill set, you can literally surf your way into the future as the wolf of blockchain street, actually leading the pack rather than constantly playing catch-up to the new wave of crypto natives.
But what if you aren't in finance at all? Let's say you're a computer scientist who eats complex algorithms for breakfast. Don't worry, the deep cryptographic mechanics of network scalability and consensus will absolutely keep you on your toes. Or, taking it to the complete opposite end of the spectrum, what if you're a passionate cooking enthusiast? Believe it or not, by tokenizing your creations into verifiable digital assets, you could actually monetize your grandma's secret pasta recipe. The real-world application here is just massively broad.
Section 2. Foundations of Blockchain Technology. If we look at the foundational topics mapped out by our source material, we see this incredible, clear evolution. We're going from the absolute origins of Bitcoin as a basic state transition system straight through to things like the Lightning Network, which was designed to massively speed up payments. And then we move right into the evolution of Ethereum, which really shows how we went from simply shuffling digital money around to building entirely programmable digital economies.
And that's the absolute game changer, right? How the technology evolved from just moving digital coins to actually creating programmable agreements. Enter smart contracts. You can think of this as Ethereum's operating system layer. This is the exact moment where a blockchain stops being just a simple, boring ledger of transactions and transforms into a decentralized, highly programmable system that can execute complex instructions all by itself. This right here is the fundamental building block that makes everything else we're about to talk about possible.
Section 3. Exploring the Crypto Universe.
We all know the crypto universe is notoriously volatile. It's a roller coaster. But the ecosystem has actually developed some brilliant mechanisms to stabilize all that chaos. We have stablecoins, which are specifically designed to peg their value and smooth out that wild ride. We have Layer 2 solutions like Arbitrum and Polygon working overtime to solve the blockchain scalability trilemma, which is the massive headache of trying to balance speed, security, and decentralization all at the same time. Plus, we're seeing huge breakthroughs in cross-chain interoperability, which basically ensures all these different digital islands can finally communicate with each other.
Now, things get really fascinating when this ecosystem collides with traditional governments through central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. This is the exact intersection where old-school government finance meets the absolute wild frontier of blockchain innovation. We are quite literally talking about redefining sovereign money as we know it, bringing along totally new monetary policy mechanisms and some pretty intense technical challenges.
Section 4. The Magic of DeFi.
Just think about the stark contrast here. Traditional finance is incredibly centralized, packed with middlemen, and notoriously slow. But then you have DeFi, or decentralized finance. DeFi enables true peer-to-peer lending, yield farming, and even instant flash loans through decentralized autonomous organizations, or DAOs. And the crazy part? All of this happens without a traditional bank ever once touching the transaction.
But you might be wondering, well, how do you actually trade these digital assets without a centralized stock exchange sitting in the middle matching up buyers and sellers? This is where Di Maggio introduces us to automated market makers, or AMMs. Instead of a traditional broker acting as a middleman, AMMs use liquidity pools and sophisticated mathematical formulas, like constant product curves, to automatically create liquid markets, entirely powered by smart contracts. It's practically magic, but it's just math.
Section 5. Real-world applications and rules.
To really bridge the gap between abstract theory and everyday practice, the author structures his analysis in such a clever way. Every single topic starts with an appetizer, a nice, gentle introduction to the core concept. Then you get the main course, which is the rigorous analysis, the economics, even some actual code snippets. But the real payoff is the dessert, real-world Harvard Business School case studies. We actually get to see the serious business brains operating right behind the technological brawn.
And the applications we cover are incredibly diverse. We're talking about the tokenization of real-world assets, essentially bringing Wall Street directly to your street. We explore the world of digital Da Vincis, looking at how NFTs are creating verifiable digital scarcity for fine art and major brands. We break down the mechanics of GameFi, which is totally upending traditional gaming economics. And of course, we tackle the ever-evolving regulatory frameworks that are desperately trying to tame this digital Wild West.
And look, the source material brings the receipts. We aren't just theorizing in the clouds here. It provides hard data. It tracks actual market risks across different protocol versions, looks at real NFT market values, and even maps the direct correlation between traditional markets like the S&P 500 and Bitcoin. The data clearly proves that these decentralized systems aren't just a fad, they have real, measurable, undeniable economic impacts.
Section 6. Beyond the crypto hype.
I absolutely love the title for this part of the analysis, When How Meets Satoshi. Here, the text brilliantly connects blockchain with the other massive technological frontier of our time, generative AI and neural networks. It dives into how the immutable, verifiable truth of a blockchain might actually be the perfect counterbalance to the dynamic, generative, and sometimes unpredictable capabilities of artificial intelligence. It's truly the ultimate collision of two massive tech frontiers.
So, here is the crucial takeaway for today. If truly understanding these profound technological shifts makes someone a crypto bro, well then, so be it. But I promise, no hoodies or obscure internet slang are actually required. Di Maggio explicitly chose to leave out fleeting trends like meme coins. Why? Because they completely lack underlying fundamentals. This explainer, and the incredible book it draws from, is all about equipping you with substantial, foundational knowledge that will stand the test of time, not just chasing whatever's trending on social media this week.
Which perfectly brings us back to the author's great sense of humor. You know that one friend who's always preaching about how blockchain is the future, but they literally still use a flip phone? As Di Maggio jokes, you should probably take their tech advice with a pretty big grain of salt. Or better yet, just hand them this guide so they can actually understand the real mechanics behind their bold claims.
And that leaves us with a pretty critical question to ponder as we wrap up today's explainer. The financial and technological landscape is fundamentally shifting right beneath our feet. We are moving from centralized legacy ledgers to highly programmable, decentralized ecosystems. The fundamentals are undeniably there. The real-world applications are growing by the day, and the future is absolutely being built on-chain. So the question is, are you ready to dive into the full source material and join the future? Or are you going to hold on to that financial flip phone? Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive. Stay curious and keep learning.